I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Greetings, this is another Torchlight II build showcase video. If you are watching this, you are probably already familiar with my brainless berserker build. During the leveling process, I started wondering what other class can get away with being auto-attack only. None. None of the others can rely exclusively on passives because the berserker is the only one built to do so. So I looked at what I had to work with. The Ember Mage is a definitive no. Though, interestingly enough, most of the passives can actually work for an auto-attack build. The problem lies elsewhere, your stats. You would have to rely on the magic damage of your 3 elemental damage boosting passives and 1 chaos. But you can't have the focus to make them deal good enough damage, since you need to spend 400 points in dexterity to have good enough crit chance, and whatever strength you need with additional crit damage gems to get 500% crit damage. The remaining stat points from enchants going to focus likely won't be enough without complementary gems in your armor, which makes you give up the only real survivability you have, your own HP. So, the stat distribution and no real way of staying long enough in the fight limits the auto-attack Ember Mage. But do let me know if you want to see me try to make it work somehow. The Outlander seems to have what it takes. Long range mastery, akimbo, marksmanship, dual wield will definitely make a good enough double pistol setup. And the survivability doesn't seem to be an issue either. The Dominion set provides a good amount of damage reduction by default. And actually, I could pair the auto attacks with a Shadow Link spawner build. There's this legendary pistol with a 25% chance of spawning a Shadow Link. Get 2. Put some points in Shadow Link ammo, and then you are guaranteed to swarm the battlefield. Huh. I'll put this on the shelf for now. This could even work. So, only one class remains, one which I've already made a video about, so I hesitated to make another one, but let's see if I can make another one. So, heavy lifting is an obvious skill. So it's supercharge. What's next? Coup de Grace. It deals damage based on your strength? Interesting. My earth-shattering Emberquake engineer build had almost 3000 focus. That means I can get a 3000 strength. What's the level 15 multiplier on Coup de Grace? What? A 10 times multiplier? Does that mean I'm gonna deal 30k electric damage, get a little focus on top of that, and get further electric damage multiplication, and add the maxed out crit damage multiplier, and a stun is all it takes to instantly kill everything. And I don't even have to worry about survivability thanks to the invincibility bubble, which means I can invest every gem slot to get more stats. We have a winner here. So now we know what the plan is, so let's make the build and do some progression. It's going to be a rough one at the start, since you have to rely exclusively on auto attacks. And even though you get the invincibility bubble at level 7, it's completely useless until around level 30-ish, even if you have a 5 charge one activated. The second area is actually the hardest one by far. The long-range slows of the ice-based enemies is frustrating enough, but they are also relatively tanky for such a low-level character, and you having no option to fight them at range is going to drive you insane. Cannons are your best options here, but after that, you are pretty much going to have a decent time if you have the Machine Forged set. And if you have a character already, If you kill the Wraith Lord on a New Game Plus 3, he will have a chance to drop his hammer with quite good damage output actually, and low enough stat requirements for you to use it sooner rather than later. Then you are pretty much good to go until you get 210 strength and defense and equip the outer core set. But since we are talking about progression, let me tell you what I found out. So, as it turns out, the whole idea of making a Coupe de Grace build is straight up moronic. And yes, I know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but I don't have any respect towards the French. Actually, why am I even saying the actual name of it? I'm just going to say it in Hungarian instead. As it turns out, Kegyelem the Face is a terrible passive because of its niche usage. Due to your excessive strength stat with this build, you'll kill 90% of enemies in a single hit, if we assume you crit, which you do often enough to be reliably counted into the equation. What you don't kill with a single hit, you kill in 2 to 3. Now, what remains is champions and bosses. But here's the problem. Most of them are either highly resistant or completely immune to debuffs or crowd control, which basically means you can't stun them. So the one use case where Kegyelem the Face could be useful to have, you cannot actually trigger it. This is why this build had to be taken in a slightly different direction of complete and pure murderous brute strength. Which brings us to the next part, the skills. Let's talk about these scrolls first. Weapons expertise is really the only one required. Use whatever else you wish in the other 3 slots. Now, the passives. Heavy Lifting, Supercharge, Fire and Spark, and Kegyelem the Face. You will also have Healing Bot, Invincibility Bubble, Onslaught, and Tremor. Then you still have some skill points left, do whatever with them. I chose to go with Immobilization Copter out of tradition. So, on the off chance that you don't kill something instantly and stun them, the extra damage of Kegyelem the Face can be useful. What you will rely on the most for dealing damage is Onslaught. The insane damage output, low mana cost, and rapid cooldown make it really spammable. And it also deals its damage in an area, and it can trigger Supercharge as well. Your ace ability is Tremor. You have no idea just how destructive it is. On my build, which uses the Glyph Forge, it can deal 470k crit damage. Just to make it clear just how insane that is, Tremor is an area damage skill. It deals damage in a 360 degree, 24 meter radius. Can you just take a moment to think about what that means? You can effortlessly clear the entire screen with the press of a single button. This is beyond broken. Why hasn't anyone told me to use Tremor before? I would also normally have charge domination, but for this build it's unnecessary. You already generate more than enough charge with your basic attacks. Now, let's talk about equipment. Get the outer core / Mondon's vestment set items listed on the screen and pay attention to their enchants and gems. Mondon's insignia, Mondon's rings, outer core mantle, outer core armor, outer core pants, outer core boots, and outer core belt. Now you can make a choice here. Either go with outer core helmet and gloves for the extra stun if you so desire, or get the S-Fix set for more gem slots. I chose the gem slots. Now onto the weapon, which is the Glyph Forge. The final embrace deals so much more damage. Why did I not choose it for the build? Well, for 2 reasons. The attack rate of the Glyph Forge and its secondary effects make it just a slight bit more ideal in this case. And I also needed an excuse to use my favorite weapon in a build. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. Also, regarding this sword, this build actually has a 450% crit multiplier. You can't actually get 500% without extra boost from gems or enchants. So why did I not remove a well-linked skull to get the remaining crit rate? It's simple. Thanks to the reality bending 3300 strength stat of my build, the missing 50% crit damage is not just made up for, but is actually outweighed by the insane multiplication of my sword's damage values. What this means in simple terms is that I'm actually dealing more damage with more base attack than with less base attack but with a higher crit multiplier. And you might be wondering, how did I get such high enchants and this many identical gems? I explained my enchanting exploit in my reworked Earth-Shattering Emberquake Engineer build video actually. Boris the Stout gives you 3 guaranteed stat enchants and Carcosi gives you much weaker 4th enchants. Actually, you might have noticed that the belt has a bit of focus on it. Yeah, as it turns out, enchanting belts with Carcosi is pure torture, so after the 3rd time within a 4-hour period, I gave up and accepted the extra focus. And for the gems, here's an item duplication method. So in conclusion, this is a stupid build. Your strategy of jumping around, swinging a sword a couple times and occasionally clearing the entire screen is fun. Just don't let the bubble come off cooldown. A 5-charge bubble will make you borderline immortal, but still play a bit carefully, especially around Molotov-like area denial abilities your enemies might throw at you. And I think I forgot to mention that Tremor also makes the enemies take more damage, which is great against bosses if you can consistently crit. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and keep in mind that I am aiming to bring out the best out of fun ideas rather than trying to make the best builds possible. Do comment if you want me to try the Ember Mage build. I think the next one is going to be the Swarm Outlander, as I have already referred to it. I'm going to see what I can do with that idea. Anyway, see you next time, whenever that might be. Also, you know how I make characters, or I guess personalities, out of my builds and put them on the thumbnails? Yeah, the Merciless Murder Machine Engineer looks like it came from one of those shitty horror slop Friday Night Funkin' mods. Lemao.